Welcome to our, and yours too, if you're here, solstice, our spring solstice fire, where the newness has been now brought in. This is the true new year, springtime, when things come into fruition, and that includes your dreams, your manifestations, things that you want to bring in. It's springtime. That is the time. I know we talk about many of us don't want to talk about resolutions because we planted them in January. January is winter. There's a reason why resolutions all fail most of the time in winter, because that's the time of sleeping, resting. Nothing grows. And so this is the time to plant those seeds and watch them grow. This is the time when the law of rhythm, which dictates what happens and when it happens, well, when certain things happens, this is when you're swimming with the slipstream, when you plant your seeds now. This is the true new year. This is when you want to do it. And we're going to do a celebration here, and I won't do much talking because I have to tend this fire, but we'll be communicating as much as we can here. I'm going to put a little bit more on it, and we're going to celebrate in a way that's going to be in full gratitude to Mother Gaia, the planet, to all of humanity, to our spirits, to our higher selves, and all of our ancestors, because no one dies. They just pass on to another reality. And so we're going to bring in all of the newness for 2024. And we're also going to do a ceremonial fire here with some ceremonial things. And we'll talk about them as we do them. And glad that you guys can be a part of it. So let me get some more wood on this fire and get it stoking a little bit more. Yeah. You want to tell the audience what you have?
Oh yeah, lots of goodies.
Lots of goodies.
Let's see. So we have some seeds.
So,
Some
can you?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're now putting into the fire some seeds. And fire is another way of planting. Is one of the energetic capacities or powers of fire is that it can transport. Fire can transport to different dimensions. So we're planting these seeds in the fire because we're planting them in many different places ceremonially.
We have some oats.
And then there are some oats.
We have some oregano.
And some oregano. Now, energy flow. These are not something we got from a recipe list. She came up with this just from her imagination.
Some rosemary.
Any particular meanings to any of these?
Just guided. This is what I was to get together.
Okay.
And some tea.
Tea.
And this is a mixture of olive oil and cinnamon.
And what we're putting in now is a mixture of olive oil and cinnamon. Olive oil has so many great properties, both physically and spiritually.
And we have some coffee grounds.
And then coffee grounds as we pour in. And as we do this, we want to give thanks to the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, many know as Source, And we want to give thanks to all aspects of ourselves. And now, when we're giving thanks, everything that we're giving thanks to is sitting right within us. There's nothing outside of us that we're offering to. It's in us and it's outside of us all at once at the same time. But its origin is in here. The Divine Mother and the Divine Father are inside of every single one of us.
I have some corn.
Right? And we have corn just put in there. So we give gratitude to everything. And just to make it short, we give gratitude to all consciousness and all life.
And we have some nuts.
And there are some nuts that the squirrels around here will appreciate.
And I have some dark chocolate for sweetness.
And then some dark chocolate to help sweeten things.
And a little cake.
And some cakes.
And this is, I didn't have any of the essence, but this is a incense. It's patchouli.
And there's patchouli incense. One of the nicest smells, my opinion. I love the smell of patchouli. So that's in there. I'm going to come right back because I'm going to add just a little honey to it as well.
Okay.
All right. Is Birdie going to go on later? Okay, and then we're also going to be putting in a little honey as well. A little honey. And as I said earlier, you guys, this fire is for you as well. Put your intentions in. And there's only two rules. No harm to yourself or others, and for the highest good of everyone involved, and that includes yourself. Those are the two rules. Yeah, so we're celebrating the spring equinox with this fire, and it's important. What's the importance of things like the equinoxes and the solstices and even the cycles of the moon? What is the big deal? It's actually pretty big, because there is a universal law that governs when things happen, and it's called the law of rhythm. So when you follow the law of rhythms, there are all kinds of things that tell you what the rhythm is. And because we are also nature, if you follow the rhythm of the time, then you're always swimming with the slipstream. You can be buoyantly carried to where you want to go. So when it's winter time, the law of rhythm says it's time to chill, it's time to relax. And it's time to make plans for what you want to do. Make plans, not actually do them. Right? And then during the time of the spring, that's when you put those plans into action. Right? That's when you put them into action. That is actually the true New Year. The fake New Year is January 1st. Think about it. It's winter. What's going to happen to seeds, i.e., resolutions, when you plant them in the snow? Yeah, you're not going to get anything when you plant in the snow. You plant in the springtime. That's when you decide what you want to do for the year. Plan things out. This is the true time for resolutions. And I'm only going to use that word once because it's kind of got a bad taste in people's mouths. So I won't use it too much. But this is the time to plant the seeds for what you're going to do. You got a project, start it now. Put it into the ground, meaning take action on it now. Because if you look around nature, the birds are having their little babies. The flowers are starting to come up. The grass is growing much faster, much thicker. Everything is in that process of growing and advancing. Why? Because that's what nature is supporting through the law of rhythm. And it's no different for us. No different for us. This is when your greatest chances of success come around. Doesn't mean you can't start or do anything any other time of the year. Not at all. But during this time of the year, if you start it, you have the most support from nature, the universe, etc. So we're celebrating that time of year where we have that great support. Celebrating
And
with
if
us.
anyone has any intentions, feel free to energetically put it in the fire.
Did you guys hear that? This is if you have any intentions, because everything has utility. If you have any intentions and that you want, just put them there, because that's one of the powers of fire. Can carry intentions different places. And it's phenomenal because every single element has a purpose, and we can work with them because every single element is within us. Every single element is within us. We are about 70 to 73% water, about 14% earth, about you give or take a percentage or two depending on different people, about 3% fire, 6% air, and the rest ether. So when people say I'm going up to the etheric realm, they're actually going up within themselves. And this is what makes the human incarnation one of the things that makes you very, very special. We take it for granted. And not only just that, we're told, in our world, we're always told as little about ourselves as possible. And as much falsehood about ourselves as is possible. So much so that we forget about the greatness that is within us. Look nowhere else but in the mirror to find out everything that you need to know. It's all in there. And that's what this channel is about. So, I'm about to get up and put a rose in there for each and every one of you into the fire. To send that nice, loving rose energy to each and every one of you watching. I'm going to go pick it from the garden. For all of you, if you guys can see it. Of course, it's not daytime, but that's it right there. All right. It's gorgeous out here. I mean, we can see the stars in the sky.
And the moon.
And the moon.
We put that dog over the back of the park.
We got our friend, the dog. He's barking. Their neighbor's dog. I guess he's celebrating too. I don't know if you guys can hear him. For those of you who have just come in, this is the spring equinox fire. And the equinox represents renewal, rededication, planting new seeds, the happiness of springtime, where you can plant physical seeds, but also because you're working with nature. And if you're, often we think working with nature, we have to be in and our hands have to be in the ground and all of that. But you can work with nature in another way. You can work with nature by following what nature is doing. And that is also working with nature. Nature is saying it's time for newness. It's time to start afresh. It's time for growth.
You can see in the fire, look, it's like the spirit at the top. See the smoke?
Oh yeah.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah, that is cool. We're just talking about what we could see in the fire. Oh, you can even see it here.
Yeah.
At the top of the fire, if you guys look in, you see that little, it's not smoke. Because you can see the difference between this little energy that is just above the fire and the smoke coming from the fire. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. But yeah, by working with nature, right now it's good. You have a plan, bring it out now. This is when all plans are being supported. The ones especially that are benevolent, meaning they are for the good of the person putting them out, and they're also going to benefit other people. And even if you see it as only benefiting you, just know this: when we all prosper, everything is better. When you prosper, the world is a better place. So it's still going to be better for everyone. For you to prosper, for you to get the things you want in life, for you to be and for you to do and have the best in life. This is a great time to put those intentions out, and more importantly, action. Action is power. Action is power. They say knowledge is power. It is not. Knowledge is potential. Action is the power. You know, it's if you learned in what was it, physics. You've got potential energy and you've got kinetic energy. Potential energy is just sitting there waiting to be used, and kinetic energy is energy in action. That's where the power is. And you start with the plan, and then you start with your words to activate it within you, and then you start with after that with action that brings it into reality. Everything in existence started that way. And you can bring in your creative energy, because the universe, planet Earth, is not about perfection. It's not about any of the other things that we often are told it's about. It's really simple. Life in this universe is about creation, creativity, and creative flow. So when you are creating, you are living life to the fullest. And you'll know it too, because you'll be at your joy when you're creating the things that you want. Because, many of us have been told the creator is somewhere up there in the sky somewhere. And I'm here to tell you, and let you know, that the creator is within you, and looking anywhere else than within you is to bypass the creator altogether. Because it ain't nowhere out there. The creator is within you. Within you. The divine, the creator, all of it. It's all you. All right. So little things like, say, this fire are just reminders of the creativity that we have, and all the assistance that we have too in that creativity. All the assistance. You've got the ancestral aspects of yourself, and you've got the inner child, which is the one who holds the imagination, the place where true creativity happens. And then you've got the divine spirit that is you, outside of time and space. That's the part of you that is infinite, never dies, knows everything, is everything, and has everything, but has put itself in a limited body, in a limited time, with seemingly unlimited space, so that it can learn more about itself. You are that arm of expansion, because only in limitation can we find out about who we truly are, and only in darkness do we grow. We don't grow in the light. And what I mean by darkness is not evil. What I mean by darkness is not knowing. In order for you to expand and grow, you have to go into the land of not knowing. And then you bring out knowledge. And that's how you expand. And bringing out that knowledge is light. Because when you're in the dark, you're in ignorance. And when you know, you're in light. They both need each other. Because you have to not know something first before you can know it, thus expand, thus become more light. So they both need each other, and they're both the same thing, darkness and light. It's just when it's on the one spectrum of polarity, it's light, and when it's all the way on the other side, it's darkness. One cannot do without the other. One cannot do without the other. And so the confusion comes in as we often equate and conflate darkness and evil. They're not even in the same neighborhood. They only know each other. You know? Evil just simply means to do vile things, particularly vile things to other beings. And that includes the planet. And from that word comes the word devil, which means de means of in French, and vile means evil So the devil is simply those who do vile things. And we have a choice because that's also within us. That's also within us. That's why the concept of the angel with the wings and all nice, and then the angel and all goodness, and then the angel with the horns. That's nowhere outside. It's within us. So we get to choose. We have to have that choice in a dualistic world. Because you have to choose, be able to choose. Otherwise, what's the point? Otherwise, what's the point? We choose. And at this point of consciousness, being in the human incarnation, the consciousness that we have, a lot of the training wheels have been taken off. Because when you're a human being, your consciousness is so high that you have a choice. See, in nature programs the flowers to grow, and they grow. So we can choose to not do anything in springtime because we are at the level that we choose our own destinies. Unlike the animal kingdom where nature chooses how they evolve, we at this level, we choose how we evolve. Nature doesn't do that part for us. And so that's why, you've even see it if you've seen some of the movies out there, like American Gods, I think it's one of them, where this is clearly laid out, where one of them says, evolve or die, meaning you've got a choice. But evolution is a wonderful thing. It's sometimes not always easy, but when you get through to the other side, the rewards are way more than you can imagine. And if you do that evolution here on Earth, in this particular reality on Earth, where it's the most difficult, then you are doing it in a place where it's most difficult, meaning your expansion is what's the word I'm looking for? Your expansion is so vast when you do it in a place like this. It's unimaginable. Your growth. And the thing is, you can't be incentivized to do that. And you only see the growth fully. You get to see a little bit here when you're here, of course, but you only get to see the full thing when you give the body back. And then you go, oh, is this what I did when I was down there? Right? That's why you're here. You chose this place, and everybody chose, because to come here, you must choose. You're chosen, yes, but you must also choose. No one's forced to be down here. I know some people think they're down here and they call it a prison planet and etc., etc. But no one comes here forcibly. You choose and you're chosen. You choose and you're chosen. And it's a wonderful thing because we're coming down to the tail end of it. And some of you have kept choosing and choosing and choosing to come here. And I'm grateful to you because we can choose. Not only do we have to choose to come here, but we can choose to end it quickly or not to come back or say, oops, that's enough. I'm done. But you've chosen to come here. And now the limited mind, the mind you're watching me with and the one I'm talking to you with may not quite understand that, but that's the limited side of you. When you go to the infinite side of who you are, you kind of get a better taste. I know this might sound a little bit like woo-woo speak, But we talk about this kind of thing in great detail on our lives on Thursdays and Fridays. And of course, if you really want to discover yourself beyond what you could ever imagine and really get to know the true you, I have a coaching program that does just that very thing as well. One-on-one mentoring. So, you are truly more than you can imagine. And when you start to discover it, the thirst for that discovery just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. And you find that many of the things that you thought was the it in life pale in comparison to you knowing about yourself beyond the physical. It truly is. And then you start seeing the magnificence that's within you. And I don't mean that with a, egoic, in an egoic way where you're, up yourself, as some cultures would say. But in an amazement about what's inside of you. And once you start discovering that, nobody can tell you any different. Nobody can get you to go back to getting you to think of you as some little thing, some little being, some nobody. So it's that discovery is magnificent. That discovery is magnificent. So I'm so happy that you guys are here. I appreciate every single being here, sharing this fire, sharing this energy with us. Babe, I think it's gone. I think it's gone now. That little energy that was above the fire, you pointed out.
You can still see it.
You can still see it? Oh, okay. Yeah. So one of the things you'll discover is working with the elements: fire, air, water, earth, and ether. Okay? And when you go out to a place like the beach, you ever go to the beach or you ever go to a place and if you have children, but if you have children, you can see it, and if it's just you, you can also you can just feel it and observe it within yourself. But when you have children, or you don't even have to have children, go to the beach and look at the children at the beach. I want you to search anywhere on the beach where there's a moping or crying child because they're sad. No, it doesn't exist. I've never seen it. I've been trying to find it for years. I've never seen. They're all happy. They're all jumping. They're all playing. That's because all 5 of those elements are out there. The sun, the water, the air, the earth, everything. And you are ether. So they're all there and interacting with the elements in us, refreshing us, giving us those negative ions. Those negative ions that bring us happiness. And those ions are found in nature. By the way, the positive ions are the things that come from our electricity and a lot of the technology that we interface with give us positive ions. And so you must come out into nature regularly and she'll pull that off of you. Even if you put your foot in the dirt, the earth pulls those ions out of your body and exchanges it for negative ones. So now you can be in balance. Now you can be in balance. And it's so easy to do. And so we regularly work with all of them on a conscious level. You're interacting with all of the elements, the 5, all the time. But there's a difference when you do it with like purpose and intention. You know? We can work with fire because fire is within us. Fire helps to cleanse and clear. You know, you want to finalize something, get rid of something energetically. You know, maybe it's an emotion you're working on and you write a note. You talk about that emotion and you put that note in the fire. That intention is you working with the fire within you, and then you have a fire outside that's also helpful with that. That's one of the ways to work with fire. And then water. When you're in the shower, there's a reason why many people sing in the shower. You don't hear them sing anywhere else. Or all of a sudden, all these wonderful ideas start to pop up in their head when they're in the shower. There's a reason for that. Because the consciousness of water carries information. Consciousness of water carries information. And when you go in the shower, your higher self uses water to get things to you very quickly. Through the element, because you're mostly water. Yeah. And then there's air that soothes the body. And air, just frankly, that's the to us living here in a biological sense, to biology, that's the most important thing, because without the air, you're gone in a minute or two. It is the air which is also signified also by the breath that ties the spirit, the soul, and the body together. It is the spirit that ties everything together with the element of air manifesting as breath. So, I mean, need I say more about air? Right? Air is also synonymous with the mental state, the mind. So that's why breath work before meditation is a good thing. That's why breath work is so phenomenal. You're working with air. And of course, earth. Earth. When we connect to earth, it cleanses us. I just talked about how the negative ions that help to make us feel good. The earth does that. There are hundreds of things that happen. You can look this up. Look this up. Hundreds of things that happen when you just simply put your foot in the ground. Hundreds of healthy benefits when you do that. Have a great night, you guys.